Good morning, Bravehearts. Good morning, Garfield. Welcome back to Marv in the Morning. Coming to you live from Bravery Studios. This is episode 49. How to set up a live podcast event. Oh boy, feels good to be here, Bravehearts. The sun is in the sky. I'm observing those rays photosynthetically. And it feels good. It feels good to be here. It feels good to be here. Happy Tuesday. It's Tekken Tuesday, baby. Tekken Tuesday. Make sure you subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Notification bell. All the jazz. Yeah, man. I'm hyped for Tekken Tuesday. This is when the wolf pack gathers. We play them video games tonight. But not a lot of announcements tonight besides that. We do have a live from Bravery Studios episode dropping tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I haven't been able to make any clips yet, but today I'm going to be grinding. So get ready for that. This is going to be a Mondo special episode. I wish I had the opportunity to get clips out sooner. But either way, this was going to blow people's minds. So I'm very Mondo hyped for that. So can't wait for people to see what's going on there. Listen, we the overwhelming amount of new clients that have come to Bravery Studios recently. We always feature, we always get an influx of new clients around this time of the year, especially in January. January comes around, it's going to be Mondo hectic again. So I must ask forgiveness for some of the delays and some of the missed episodes of Marv in the Morning. A lot of the plan was to release live from Bravery Studios episode twice a week, and to also, go live Monday through Thursday on Marv in the Morning. And things happen, and above all else, the clients come first. When I was doing this and I said, I'm going to do this as much as I can. Hey, listen, if something comes up and I have to take care of business, I have to take care of a client, or I have to work on a project for a client, unfortunately, it has to take precedent, which is, it comes with the territory. You're a business owner over here. You're at the mercy of the work. A lot of people want to be a business owner so that they don't have to work as hard. But let me tell you, it's almost tenfold the amount of work you're going to be doing as a business owner. And you are solely responsible for the amount of income you make. Whereas working at a 9 to 5, most of the job is just showing up. Not to say that that's easier, but it's green grass on both sides. Let's just put it that way. It's not any more green or less green on either side of the fence. It's just green on both. So it comes with the pluses and the minuses. But like I said, I wouldn't change this for anything. I wouldn't change what I'm doing for anything. If I could be anywhere in the world doing anything, I'll be right here doing exactly what I'm doing right now. So forgive me. We're gonna be on and off on some days and some weeks where if there's a lot of episodes dropping, and there's gonna be some weeks where there's not as much. That they just take it as, wow, Marv is busy, so take it as that. And I do want to get these episodes out sooner than later. I am still recording newer episodes for Live from Bravery Studios. I'm still engaging and speaking to people. There's still a lot of people that I want to interview, conversate with. And if we only release episodes once a week, the amount of I'm so ahead that I think I will have episodes out till April. I think April is when I'll probably run out of episodes. But we definitely want to get things out sooner. So if I can get the opportunity to edit twice a week, then we will get episodes twice a week. If not, then, we'll go to a weekly basis. But the point is that the train will never stop running, though. The train must go on. The show must go on. And the magic must continue to happen. And take it as a good thing if episodes are missed or there are delays in the schedule. Just take it as business is going good. Just take it like that. But that's not what we're really here for, right? We're here to discuss how to set up a live podcast event. We can jump right into the meat and potatoes, honestly, just to get right on into it, because there's not a lot of announcements other than what I just said. I've been a part of many live podcast shows. And when I say live podcast shows, I don't mean live on YouTube, live on Instagram, live on TikTok. I mean live audience, a podcast with a live audience. That's what I mean by live podcast show. Um, it's a beautiful thing in our business, in our industry, that there's so many ways to absorb podcasts. It's like I said back in the first episode, I think, where I was mentioning the train companies not wanting to invest in cars because they said, "Hey, that's not my lane. I'm going to stay where I'm at." All right, cool. But the beauty of it is in podcasting. There's multiple avenues for exposure. And a big one is events. A big one is doing live shows. Much like a concert, much like a theater, it's somewhere in between the crux of all of those things, right in between. And it honestly can be a combination of all these things as well. That's the very beautiful part of it, the Mondo beautiful part of it, that podcasting can be absorbed so many different ways and so many ways to have fun with it, especially if things get boring. And I think if you have been podcasting for a long time and need an extra jolt of new energy, new activities, something to spice up the routine that you probably go through weekly now, live podcasting can be great for you. This is not something you need to do weekly. This is not something you necessarily need to do monthly, although you could. But it's something you can do on occasions when you just need a new energy, new projects, and something to get the audience excited for, to get your target audience excited for. I'm totally of, doing live podcasting. And then the ones that I've been a part of have all been awesome. So, yeah, if you have not done one yet, consider it. And I'm going to give you the tips of how to get it started. I'm going to give you pretty much the walkthrough of how I go about setting up a live podcast show, how I work with my clients. Of course, Bravery Studios, we have a live events space here in the building, so it makes it a little bit more easier for us to pull it off, all things considered. It's one of the reasons why I chose this location. And listen, I do not have any regrets. I love it here. Let me tell you, there's so much versatility in this space that we have, that we can do so many different things. So yeah, so live podcasting show. Here's how we go about it. And this is a discussion you need to have with your team. This is something you need to have with your producer. This is not a one man effort. Although it can be, you want to put this on your shoulders. It can be if you can maintain it, but realistically, there's going to be a lot of components involved. In the setup that I have, will include, there's multiple heads that you're going to need to pull this off in a way that will be comfortable. It will be entertaining, and will be easy flowing. A well-oiled machine. We got Brian Green in the building, of course, the man who just pulled off a live show not too long ago. What is it, 2 weeks now? Shout out to him. His show was awesome. Mondo chill crowd, good vibes, good energy. That was a great night. That was definitely a great night here in Bravery. So happy I can make that happen for you. Happy you chose us for your live podcast event. And looking forward to more. B. So yeah, let's get into it. So let's say you're not at Bravery Studios, right? Because you have the benefit of having a venue already on hand if you record here in Bravery. But let's say you're not. Let's say you aren't in Bravery. Okay, so first thing you're probably going to need to do is find a venue. And you need to figure out, in finding the venue, whether you want this to be a more intimate event or a very large event, something with a huge crowd, with 100 people maybe. You need to figure that out. If you're the only podcast performing that night, and it's a more intimate crowd, that's still cool. That's still something that can go off very well. What is the other, on the opposite end of that as well? So in deciding your venue, decide how many people you want to have there, because the more people you have, it may be a little bit harder to keep the audience engaged, because you do have to control a crowd as a podcast live show. At a podcast live show, you will have to control the crowd a bit, especially when the topics start flying and everyone starts speaking. It can be a little bit of a task, but it can be done. So this is what you need to decide in selecting venue: how many people you want to have. Try to figure out a venue that has parking. Make it easier for yourself and get a venue that has parking. Get a venue that can probably fit 40 people and up. Not that you should always expect that number, but you want to have some overhead, some safety, airspace, just in case things don't go as expected. And you can expect things to go unexpectedly on any occasion. Any man-made plan, man plans, God laughs, right? So, above all else, leave a margin for error. Leave space in between everything you plan that night, just in case anything goes wrong. So select a venue. Like I said, make sure it has parking. Make sure the people are able to listen to you, meaning that there's speakers, there's a good sound system there. Make sure there aren't beams everywhere in between you and the crowd. I think one of the issues I had with a live show we did in I don't remember the venue itself, but one issue that we definitely had was, hey, we did a live show, we got a great space, and it was huge. But at the same time, there was pillars everywhere and a lot of separation between the stage and the crowd. You want to pick a venue where you're not so separated from the crowd itself, where the people can see the stage, where they can hear you well, where they can become part of the show too. You want to get the crowd involved with the show, for sure. It's an easy way to keep their attention. It's an easier way, actually, to keep their attention. So after you finalize a venue, then you want to move into making a flyer. Now, your flyer doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can be very artistic with it and whatnot, but there's certain things that need to be clear on this flyer. First of all, the location. Make sure people know where they're going. Feature the address, the name of the venue, the town it's in, all that jazz. The normal things you would see on a flyer, even like a concert flyer or any kind of flyer. The dates, absolutely. Don't let people not know the date on there. Location, date, these things should be super obvious to anyone who has ever gone to an event or has hosted an event. Mondo obvious things here. The price, make the price clear. And don't be afraid to give discounts for people who go the extra mile, whether buying the tickets super early, getting it online, subscribing to your YouTube channel, following your Apple, your Spotify. Take care of the people who take care of you. You could make a few extra bucks, charging everyone the standard price, but there's more longevity in having someone become a follower, a subscriber, a loyalist to your show. There is way more longevity in that. Where, hey, you made a couple extra bucks, maybe one or two or three or five, but that gets spent. What doesn't go away is having a new follower. That doesn't go away. A new loyalist to your show. That goes way further than $5. Let me tell you. On the flyer, you also want to have the axe, which we're going to get into the axe itself, which isn't a necessary component, but it's something that, it flourishes. It adds more, it gives people more incentive to come to your event. So flyers are important. Acts are important. Vendors, you want to feature the vendors on there as well. You want to display them clearly. And we're going to discuss why in a bit. Then we need to go into the tools, the assisted tools for marketing and whatnot, or for event promotion, or just to kind of have a system where it's clearly understood what you need to do. Eventbrite is what most people use nowadays for events. It's a great tool. I personally have used it only once for an event and relied more on spoken mouth and word of mouth and just people walking through the door, collecting at the door. But, nowadays you can put up an Eventbrite. You can put up an Eventbrite. You can get a clearer understanding or a clearer view of who to expect or how many to expect that are going to be coming to the venue. It's through link, so you can, these links can be passed on and forwarded to each individual. So Eventbrite helps a lot. I mean, a little bit of the older crowd might be used to the Facebook events where you can kind of just share it on your timeline, and hopefully the algorithm's in your favor and your entire timeline sees the flyer, sees the event. But I think you can also integrate them together. You don't quote me on this one, but I haven't used Facebook in a while. But I think you can integrate them together. And I think even Instagram, because they're so closely tied to Facebook or owned by Facebook, that passes on to that platform as well. So you can go the route of just collecting at the door, but to get a better view of what to expect, who's going to be at the door or how many, you can always expect about, I want to say 10% more people are going to come cash in hand after whatever number you get online. You can also probably expect some people that paid online not to show up. So make a clear understanding of what the return policy is. Give a clear sentence. Do what you got to do. Let it be known what happens at that point too. It's a little bit harder to give discounts to Eventbrite, so also make clear, like, hey, if your plan is to, hey, I'm gonna give you a discount if you become a follower or a subscriber or whatnot, figure out how to go about that. That could be a whole episode in itself, honestly, but it's a little bit easier to do that at the door than to do it through Eventbrite. Next, we need to talk about your actual show itself, right? Now that we have the promotional tools out there, we have the tools to get tickets online. Let's discuss what is going to be the topics of the night. Now, it is vital, at least in the occasions that I have done it, it is vital to include the audience in the conversation, like I had said earlier. You want to make them feel like they're part of the show. It also gives you time to just relax too and not have to speak entirely for either 45 to an hour or however long you decide to make your set be of your podcast. Figure out topics that will include the crowd, do things that are trending, speak about things that are happening now in today's world, just to pique people's interest and keep their attention to the crowd. The last thing you want is to be speaking on something that the crowd is just not feeling and they're all off on tiny conversations within small groups. You could lose the crowd like that, and yes, I did say that you have to maintain the crowd and you have to kind of reel them in. An easier way than just saying, hey guys, everybody be quiet now. It's just to give them something that they're interested in. You could have a crowd of anime fans and you could start talking about cars and they might, splinter off into other things. So keep their attention. Give them something they're interested in. Pick something trendy that's trending now, and you'll have an easier time, keeping the audience's attention there. So go about it that direction. Definitely go about it in that direction. And don't be afraid to do raffles, giveaways, any of that jazz while you're up there too. Also, things to hype the crowd up. Nothing wrong with giving away some merch. You spend a little, get a little. I mean, don't expect huge results financially from your first event. And don't be afraid to give things away. You give someone a t-shirt, now they're walking advertisement for your podcast. Give someone a hat, same situation. Having them take pictures by your logo, great opportunity for promotional stuff there. Very great opportunity there. So definitely pick topics that are trending above all else. Vendors. Now, I like to break them up between food vendors and merch vendors. Break it up that way. It's a little bit easier to figure out what is necessary for each one. Now, with a merch vendor, you want to charge them for selling merch there. You also want them to make money as well. So be a little lenient with your first event about how much you charge your vendors. I usually do $50 to start with, and they must bring their own table. That way, they're spending $50, but hopefully whatever they're selling will get that money back quick. If you're expecting 40 people, then you can expect them, let them know how many people you're expecting so they can know how much they could possibly make there. Make these things very clear to your vendors. Promote them once you get on the stage. Like, hey, we have such and such selling jewelry in this corner. We have such and such selling plants in that corner. We got the sea moss guy over there, the hot sauce lady over there. So promote your vendors. These are the merch vendors. Now with food vendors, this is where you want to be a little careful. You want to be a little more careful. Even with the merch vendors, you do have to figure out, hey, I can't have two merch vendors that are too similar. We don't want there to be competition between two people in the building. But with the food vendors, you don't even know if you want to have other food there. I suggest, and this is just me and my experience, what I've seen, what works best is to take the weight off your shoulders of having to cater to the crowd. With the food vendors, allow them to come in for free. Make the food vendors waive the vendor's fee for the food vendor. Now, deciding whether you want more than one, you can kind of think about your crowd. If you're expecting probably 40 people, you probably only want one food vendor. If you're expecting up to 100 people, maybe you want 3. You want these guys to make money, and you want to keep them in your network so that when you do more events, they're around, and you can call on them like, hey, this guy's having a new event. Come by, do the food vending, yada, yada, yada. Now, if he made good money at your first event, most likely he or she's going to come back for the second event. So Build a network of food people. I mean, this is something that you're gonna need at every event. So the more you do this, whether you want to keep them on a rotation, whether you just want to stick to whoever kind of has the best food, whatever you do, keep them in your network. Keep them around. Make sure they make money. I mean, you cannot guarantee that they're going to make money, but definitely promote them once you hit the stage up there too. Um, Now let's move on to the musical acts. So this is not a necessary component, but it's a nice dressing on the top of your salad for sure. It's a very nice dressing to have on top of your salad. Um, because in between you doing your show, you need something going on. You could have the DJ playing there, and that's cool too to have the DJ spinning. But including music acts means that they will promote the event as well. So each musician has their network of people too, their crowd, their audience. This will be added to your audience. It just works better for everyone. It's a nice collaboration. So if you're doing a 1 hour show, you may want to have two acts in the beginning, two acts after. Um, Figure out how you want to lay that out. And you want to leave space in between each act, between the podcast, between the performers. Give yourself a little headroom because, like I said, you never know what could go wrong. Let's say a speaker's having issue, it's not working. Say the performer is late, God forbid. Like I said, give yourself headroom to things to go wrong. You pack everything too closely together. You leave only minutes between your itinerary, and you're not giving yourself a lot of space for anything to go wrong. Now, God forbid something does go wrong. You got to fiddle with a mixer board for half an hour. Boom, you just lost a little bit of time from your set. You know, the vendors, not the vendors, but the venue space is only rented out for a certain amount of hours, and you just spent half an hour fiddling with this thing, and you lost maybe the act. Maybe there's no time for him to perform anymore. Headroom. Don't schedule things too tightly together. Leave space for the unexpected. That's a major, major one that I learned the hard way many a times. Many a times. Now, like I said, once you have all these things in pieces together, you're going to want to arrive to that venue early on the day of. Let's talk about the day of. Arrive early, set up early, get all that out of the way first, and then take a break in between. Going straight from setup to live is a very difficult thing to do. Hopefully, you're at a venue space where you're allowed to show up early. You're allowed to set up maybe even a day before. They're lenient like that. It'll make things more relaxing the day of. Absolutely more relaxing the day of. I've had situations where it's like, all right, setup and takedown is immediate, and it can be stressful. It can be stressful, especially if they're trying to get you out the building as fast as possible afterwards, or there's not a lot of room in the beginning to set up, and you're setting up as people are walking through the door. It can be very distracting, or it can just be very difficult to spread out wires while there's 40 people in the room. So like I said, try to find a venue where they're a little more lenient, a little more flexible in their time and space, for sure. Attempt it. It's not always gonna happen, but I know here in Bravery Studios, I allow people to come like the night before, or even a ridiculous amount of hours earlier, just because I personally want everything to go well. I want my podcasters to succeed, especially if they're doing an event at my space. It only benefits everyone. Only benefits everyone. And I guess the last thing I would tell you is don't expect perfection on the first night, and make sure to have fun. There is a lot of worry and stress and I guess fear that things will go left during an event, especially your first one. But kind of lean into it. Don't don't expect perfection. If you left space for errors, then you shouldn't be too bad. But above all else, try to have fun with it and just try to get better with each one you do. It's not going to be perfect the first time around. Nothing is. Not even going to be perfect the second, third, fourth, fifth around. But as long as you have fun with it, as long as you learn and you grow each time you do it, it's going to get better. It's going to get better and better and better and better. Will it ever be perfect? Probably not. But hey, as long as it gets better and it's entertaining to your crowd and you're having fun with it, and this is something maybe you can do quarterly, you can do monthly. I don't know about weekly. Maybe there is someone who does that. I'm not sure who. That seems like it would be a less exciting thing if it's happening all the time. But I like monthly. I like quarterly even. So take it from there. See what works. Sure. Start with small expectations and just grow from there. Cater to a more intimate crowd first before you go to a large crowd. Find a cheaper venue, a smaller venue if you have to. We're here in Bravery Studios. We're not a huge venue, but I rather it be a more intimate crowd for the space that we're in, because we're not necessarily an event space completely. We're primarily a podcasting studio, so we can have about 40 people here, and I love it. I feel like everyone's attention is to the stage because it's a very narrow room as well. It does a great job of keeping people's attention there, and we have a kitchen space there, which is great for the food vendors, and in the hallway it's great for the merch vendors. And this isn't this isn't advertising for doing your events at Bravery, but hey, we're here if you need us. We're here if you need us. And that pretty much lays down the groundwork for a podcasting live event. um, I guess if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. But I think everyone should consider doing this. I think no matter what the topic or the crowd or the niche, I think everyone can pull off a live podcasting event, and it's a lot of fun when it goes smoothly, or even when it doesn't. I guess as long as you have space in between for things, it can be really fun, and it's a great way to gather people. It's a great way to get new people to your show, because hey, if I'm going to your live event, most likely I'm going to bring a plus one, plus two, even maybe. So this plus one and plus two may not have been aware of your show. Now they are. Now they want a discount at the door. So guess what? You got yourself some new followers, new subscribers. Very vital to make a great first impression as well. You hit the stage, think of yourself as a Baptist reverend, pastor, and go up there with character and charisma and personality. If that's what your show's, of course, niche leads to, if that's your branding. If you're going up there to talk about more harrowing topics, then maybe it's not your thing, or maybe a live show wouldn't even work for you. But above all else, please have fun with it, no matter what you do or why you're doing it. The ones I've done have all been fun, have all been awesome. I can think of like I mentioned, that one time we had it at the venue, if there was just pillars and beams everywhere, and the space was a little too segregated. It was a little tougher to do it. But either way, that was still a fun time, and it was a learning experience. Now I know how to look at venue spaces and determine whether this is going to work for a live podcasting event. So everything is a learning experience. But that's all I got for you today, Bravehearts. Tomorrow is episode 50. I want to do something fun. I want to definitely celebrate 50 episodes of Marv in the Morning. Can you believe it? I still remember episode 1. First week of September, and now we're in the middle of December. Time has flown. Time has flown. And I always thought to myself, this may not be something that I'm going to be doing forever. This has been a great ride for sure, to definitely get back in front of the camera, show some personality, showcase what we do here in Bravery, the art, the skills, the talents. Contrary to popular belief, we do not just hit record and just give you whatever is on the mic or whatever is on the tape. No, we put a lot of heart into this. At least I do, for sure. And actually, I would go as far as to say my employees do as well. Our heart, soul, love, anger, and all of our sorrow goes into all of this. And yeah, Marvin in the Morning. This isn't a goodbye at all, but just a little preparation for the thought of when. All right, business is picking up. We're getting a lot busier. It may not be as easy to pull this off anymore in the morning. But either way, I look back on these 50, I guess 49, tomorrow will be 50. I look back on these 49 episodes like a roller coaster ride, and memories that I'll never forget. And only to think, where can I take the skills I learned doing this now? Where can I use a lot of these traits and skills that I've learned doing this as well? So I'm thinking about all these things every day. Every day. This is on my mind. No, wait, no, Tamika. This isn't goodbye at all. This isn't goodbye at all. No. How you doing, Tamika? I miss you. It's only the thought that, hey, as we get busier, it may be hard to pull it off sometimes. So bear with me if there's some days missed out of the week. But by no means is this goodbye. But episode 50 is tomorrow. I'm trying to think of something fun we can do. I might put up the phone lines and let people call in. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, you can't leave. You're abandoning me like a bad relationship. No, never. Absolutely not. We're going to ride this to the wheels fall off for sure. But It's only the thought process of, okay, where can we take these skills next, or what can we do new with Marv in the morning? What's something fun and new we can do after 50 episodes? This is a year in podcasting. If you're doing a weekly podcast to get to episode 50, you would have 52 episodes if you're doing weekly podcast. So we've done a year of podcasting in 4 months. So it's been fun for sure, and it's going to continue. Not a goodbye at all. But now it's time. Let's figure out something new and cool we can do. New, cool, and exciting. So that's my challenge now, to figure that out. And I look forward to it. I like a challenge. I I never want to get stuck in a routine or doing the same jazz over and over and over and over. Never want to get stuck doing that. So we'll see. We'll see what I come up with, or the viewers come up with. If you guys have ideas or cool things you want us to do here, Marv in the morning, let me know. But for the most part, this has been a lot of fun, and it's been a great therapy for me for sure. It's great to create again. I love doing it with my clients. I give my clients the world. I will pull the moon out of the night sky for my clients. But just once in a blue, gotta do something for yourself too. Gotta keep yourself stimulated and active and creating too. I'm without a doubt a creator, and to be a creator, you're cursed with having to always create. You're cursed and blessed. So we'll see what we come up with next. But that's Marv in the morning for today. Thank you for everyone that's watching. Once again, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, notification bell, all that jazz. Stay brave and keep on keeping on. Peace.